ओके, गुड आफ्टरनून। तो आज हम लोग क्या करेंगे, आज हम लोग नया टॉपिक पे डिस्कशन करेंगे। लास्ट क्लास में हम लोग कुछ प्रोग्राम किए थे, उस प्रोग्राम के हिसाब से आज हम लोग कुछ नया प्रोग्राम और कुछ प्रैक्टिकल क्लासेस का प्रोग्राम हम लोग देखेंगे। तो हम लोग का जो है, अभी हम लोग जो पहले पहले हम लोग डिस्कशन करेंगे कि कौन सा टॉपिक पे हम लोग बात करेंगे, राइट। तो टॉपिक हम लोग ने लास्ट क्लास में जैसे कि कुछ मैटप्लॉटलिब का डिस्कशन किए थे, कुछ तो हियर द स्क्रीन इज विजिबल आई थिंक। तो हम लोग ने कौन से बारे में डिस्कशन किए थे लास्ट टॉपिक पे, हम लोग ने डिस्कशन किए थे कुछ मैटप्लॉटलिब, राइट। देन हम लोग ने डिस्कशन किया था numpy, देन पांडा, देन हम लोग कुछ ग्राफ चार्ट चार्ट लाइक समथिंग बार पाई, दिस टाइप ऑफ चार्ट हम लोग ने देखे थे। तो ये सब चीज हम लोग एक डिस्कशन किए थे, राइट। तो इसी के रिगार्डिंग हम लोग ने कुछ एग्जाम्पल्स किए थे, कुछ प्रोग्राम्स किए थे। तो और आज हम लोग कुछ नया टॉपिक भी देखेंगे, दैट इज कॉल्ड अ डेटाबेस टॉपिक। तो हाउ टू राइट द डेटाबेस, हाउ टू लोड द डेटाबेस, दिस आर द टॉपिक जो आज हम लोग यहाँ पे डिस्कस करेंगे। तो वी आर गोइंग टू डिस्कस अबाउट हाउ टू लोड अ डेटाबेस and what is the name, what will be the database. Okay, so these are the topic we are going to discuss. Okay, now to work on this database, to learn something in the database, how to load the database and something like that, so we need both numpy and panda. Okay, so now what we are actually dealing with, now we are dealing with the database, right. So our dealing topic is today is about to build the database. Oh, wait a minute, the text file. Okay. So database we are going to deal with database. So in database, what are the first package that is needed? That is NumPy. NumPy this package is needed. Second one Panda. So NumPy and Panda, these two packages are needed for the database. Now what will be the package? The package work of the package, we all know that what is the purpose of the packages. Now what we need to do, we need to read the database. So usually what happened here, the database, the name of the database or the format of the database will be CSV. The format of the database will be something like CSV. So what is the database format we are going to deal with here? That is the CSV database format. So in CSV database format, that will be basically a Excel format. So it CSV means it is a Excel format, but it is stored in Excel format actually, but this is stored in some CSV type. So what we need to do that, first of all we are going to import the numpy, panda, this type of packages we are going to import. Now what happens this, there next we are going to implement a variable that is something like var, okay, or something, suppose a, okay, so it is a variable. So we are dealing with a variable. So suppose a is my variable. What happened now here, this in variable we have to read the database. So database, as I said, that it will be in CSV format. So because why CSV? Because it is very easy. CSV format is readable and it is very easy to readable. So now what happens that a is my variable where I am going to actually read my database, right. So something what happens that pd dot read, this is my database syntax. So pd dot read, so this is my syntax. So pd means the database and read means that we are going to read the particular database. So pd dot read, now underscore, okay, pd dot read, now underscore the format. So what is the format? That is CSV. So pd dot read underscore the CSV, pd dot read underscore the CSV. Then what happened? We need to write the database name. What happened? We need to write the database name. So database name will be in something dot dot dot. So dot 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 is my database name. Then this is my particular CSV, means where this is in this particular colon bracket. My thing is going to read the name of the database, where it is where we are going to read the name of the database. Then the index column, that is having some value equal to 0. So this is my basically that how we are going to load a particular database. So the things will be loaded in the database just by like that. And my variable.
Hello, sir.
Yes, Nishu.
So can you please explain from the starting? So actually,
okay, no issue, no issue. So what happened in previous classes, we have discussed about the matplotlib flip the data packages, this type of things, right? Now we are going to deal with a new topic, that is some database. So how to load a particular database into the Python, and we have to work on this Python. With Python we have to work on it, right? Now what happened actually, that a database means not something like the Oracle or the SQL type database, right? Here the database is actually meaning that something like a CSV format or Excel format file. Okay, so I will show you that how a database we are going to work here. So database, okay, so let me what first I would like to show you the database file. Okay, so wait a minute. Okay. Okay. So you can see a Excel file here, right? So I hope you are able to see an Excel file here. So this is my Excel file. So in this Excel file, we can see some data, some numeric values, and some headings are there. So some numeric values and some headings are there. So it is called a database. So here it is called a database. So what is the database? It is maybe a diabetes, means a patient diabetes database. So what is the database, or what is some rates? So this is some rates are present here. So what will be the rates of glucose, what will be the blood pressure, what is the skin thickness, what is the insulin, how much BMI will be there, means metabolic rate, diabetes percentage. These are the things present here. So at what age we can see it is a database, at what age what could be the possible respective things. So at the age of 26, what can be the possible things we can find out from this particular database. So this is called a database that we are going to deal with our Python. So this is an Excel format database, that is basically a CSV. So the extension of this particular Excel is .csv. So we are going to deal with this. So here a large number of data is present, right? We can see the number, there's a huge number of data are present in this particular Excel database. So the number of the data is too much, right? So up to how much data we can say here, there are some 769 data are present. So this is a data loaded in some CSV format, Excel format or CSV format. We have to import this particular database into our Python using some particular codes, and then we have to work on this particular database, right? So now as I'm talking, okay, wait a minute. Okay, as I'm talking about this, so this is my database. First we have to import, as this is some numerical values, and so we know that when we are dealing with some numerical values, we have to import this NumPy and Panda both. Now we have to import the CSV Excel format. So how we can import? So this A, so this particular A is my variable. So this A is my variable, and we are using this particular command pd.read underscore CSV, pd.read underscore CSV. So pd means the database dot read. We have to read the particular database underscore CSV. So CSV is my format, pd.read underscore CSV, and then the indexing part where this is the name of the database name. So we have to remember the name of the database should match at what particular name it is saved. If the name is not matching the database, whatever the name of the database is not matching with whatever the code we have written here, so in that particular case the database will not going to load, right? So this is my database name should be correctly, and then the indexing of the columns, how much columns, what are the things, this is the formatting part, right? So now let us see for the code. So how we can importing the code, we are going to see that, right? Okay. Okay, so this is my part. First of all, let me clear the kernel, restart the kernel so that we can start from the beginning. Okay, restarting the kernel. So we are going to restart the kernel. Actually, the name of the link date, it was 4 by mistaken. So the class is for 3. We will have a class also tomorrow. Okay, so I think there's some mistaken, and that's why the link is saying 4. So the kernel is starting, and then we are going to load the program and the database. The kernel is taking much time to restart. So the kernel is restarted, right? Now here we can see, first of all, we are importing the pandas and importing the numpy. So we are importing numpy as np and pandas as pd. So this pd is referring here. So pd from the panda, we are using that dot read particular and the csv format. So this is my name, the 092 diabetes. It is my name of the database. So if you are seeing the name of the database at the excel, then it is also the same name, 092 diabetes. Okay. So if I am, suppose I am mentioning the name only diabetes, right? So I am assuming this database, there is a file that called database. So there is a file that is called database diabetes. The database name is called diabetes, right? So I am assuming this as this is my database name. So let me check whether it is going to run or not, right? So first of all, I am going to check it whether it is going to run or not. So I'm trying to running it. So you can see, right? There is a lot of error coming. So you can see there is a lot of errors are there. So what are the errors? It is saying file diabetes.csv does not exist. Diabetes.csv does not exist. So as I said, the name should match, and name is the spelling of that particular database name. The name, whatever the database name is, the spelling, each and every words, keywords should match exactly. Otherwise, it is not going to run. Otherwise, it is not going to run. Right. So what is the database name? 092 something like that. 092 diabetes. Okay. So the name is that 092 space diabetes. Right. Let me check. Yes. So this is my diabetes. This is my the name of the database. Okay. So now I am trying to run it. Means look here, no errors. So we don't have any type of error. So we can assume that this particular database is actually loaded, or this particular the loading of the particular database is successful. So as we are not getting any type of error. Now we need to show that what are the values in the database present, right? So we are going to show the database value. So how to show the database value? We can see a simple line we have presented here, that is print df.types. Print df.types. A very simple line that we are this df is my the variable name where I am loading the particular database. So df is my variable name and dot type. So dot type is whatever the types it is, right? So let me run this particular code now. Okay, now we can see that the database was loaded in the previous line. We have been in the output number 2. From here, we are assuming that the database was loaded successfully. Now, from this particular run, we are getting the value that what is the database or what is the data format and what are the types of the data format. So what are the values are present there? That is some glucose. Glucose, the data format for the glucose is integer type 64. Blood pressure is integer type 64. BMI is of float 64. So we are founding the data format with the type. So whatever the heading of the particular database, we can also getting the output as what are the data formats are present. So glucose is having some values of integer type data, 64 integer type data. BMI and diabetes pedigree function is having some data of float 64. So this is how we can load a database. Am I clear to you? So I think this is a very simple example that how we can load my database. So I think it is very easy to load a database. Now moving for the next part. Here we are trying to print the data types df.dtypes. Also we are trying to print some df.head of the particular 10. So this is be having some values, the head of that particular. So let me run the program first and then we are going to discuss the output section for you, right? So now we are getting some values. So this particular section is for the first line, that is print df.type. So this particular section we are getting for print df.type. So whatever the print my df.type, the format and the data format and data type for the particular headings, right? Now coming for the second part, printf df.head.particular 10. So first, if we count the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 rows. So this 10 particular, so the 10 values is actually mentioning the rows, that how much row we want to see. What are the numbers of the rows that we want to see here, right? So the 10 rows with the particular headings, that is we are actually found it here. The basic glucose, blood pressure, the age, outcomes, whatever the things are in the first 10 output, the result of first 10 is going to be displayed here. So it is also mentioned here that 10 rows into 8 columns. 10 rows into 8 columns. So the things we can find. So if we are going to change the value of 10 here as 20, so what will be the output? We can find the values of the data, 20 data. We can find the values of 20 data. We can find the values of 20 data. So this is how we can get the output. We can get the data as an output, right? So it is very easy that how we can load a database in a CSV or in an Excel file. So how we can load it and how we can see our data, what are the data types, we can be very easily, we are actually getting this particular data. So only by writing some 3 or 4 lines, okay, without the packages, right? So the 3 or 4 lines, or also we can say 2 lines actually, because by 2 different printf, we are sorry, by 2 different print function, we are having 2 outputs. So I can say that by only 2 lines, by single 2 lines, we are actually getting my database results. So it is very easy to load, right? It is very easy to load my database and also get the results of the database, right? So this is very easy to work with. Now, the next part. There a new line was added, that is print df dot index. So in the first one, we are getting our data type. Say yes.
Sir, जो pandas या numpy है वो pre-installed.
Nishu, can you repeat your question?
Sir, what?
Can you repeat your question? It's getting broken, means distort. It is getting distorted.
Sir, actually pandas and numpy is already installed in a Python IDE or we will
Okay, okay. Means you are talking about the package of panda and numpy. Look, what happened
NumPy, yes.
actually in the previous version of Python, means the Anaconda Spider or ideally, what actually happens that we have to install the package separately. Means the pandas and numpy. Some package was loaded or installed predefined, but some things we need to install. So, but now in the current what should I say, the current available version of this Anaconda or ideally, these were installed predefined, or previously it was installed by default, it was installed. But if you are having some problem, suppose, okay, wait a minute, suppose I want to check that whether my panda is loaded or not. So what I can do, I can this run cell. So if that after running the cell of this particular line, I am getting output as input pandas as PD. So it means that my panda was already preloaded or it was installed. But if it was not installed, or while running this particular input pandas as PD cell, if you are not getting this output, means it was not installed. So in that particular case, you need to install that. In that particular case, you need to install that. So I would like to know, Nishu, from you, that whether you are getting this type of error, means while loading the pandas and numpy.
Sir, actually I use the Python ideally, not a spider or
in same. You can write the same code, the input pandas as PD in ideally also. Okay. If you are not getting any output, means that it was not, the package was not loaded, right? So in that particular case, you need to install that particular package. Do you know that how to install any package that was not installed?
No, sir.
Okay. So in that particular case, a very simple what we do actually in general, that in ideally or in Anaconda, whatever the platform you are using, there will be a command line section particularly for that particular software, right? Okay, so wait a minute. I'm stopping the share here. Just I'm going to show you one thing, that how the thing is actually done. Okay, share screen, share the entire window. How to share the entire window? Okay. Uh, okay. Now if I'm trying to share the screen. Okay. Now you can see a section here that it was named Anaconda prompt, right? You can see that is the name Anaconda prompt, right? So here what actually happens, this is the particular command line prompt section for Anaconda. Whether you are using ideally, you will get a same thing, right? You will get a command prompt or command line section for the ideally also. So what happened actually here, we need to write some particular installation code of that particular package, that is something like pip install, right? So pip, what is the pip meanings? That is Python initialize package or Python installation package. So pip means that Python installation package. So pip install, then whatever the particular package we want to install here, that name should be there, and particular some codes are there. Okay, so if I am trying to see one particular code, just give a minute. Okay, just give me a minute. Okay. Okay. Suppose you want to install NumPy or Panda. So there are two codes we can write. First one is pip install NumPy. So pip install NumPy. This is a particular code, and if you are pressing enter, so this thing will run some particular code here, or this thing will check some particular values, and then the installation process will begin. Right? Either it is a pip install NumPy, or another code is there, that is conda install NumPy. Pip install, that is Python in Python installation package, and conda is for conda. Look, now when I am writing the pip install NumPy, the message I am getting here, that is requirement already satisfied NumPy in C, means the package is already installed in my particular package where the packages are, and the version is mentioned here, that 1.16.2. So this is how the things we can verify that whether my package is already installed or not. If it is not installed, then we have to install this by this particular command, pip install NumPy. We have to install this by this particular command. Also there will be another command, that is conda install NumPy. So this particular two okay, and again I am going to run it. So by this particular two codes we can install NumPy. Similarly we can also install Panda and whatever the matplotlib. Then there are some many packages, actually package image.io. So whatever the packages, scikit, so package we can install. If it is not available, then we need to install it, or if it is available, then it will give you a requirement message that it was already installed or it was satisfied. Like, so any doubt, Nishu?
No, sir.
Okay, so in case I would like to suggest, so you first check that whether this is present or not. If it is not present, try to run this particular code. The installation codes is easily available in the Google. Just write that install NumPy in Python, right? So if you are just writing a Python. Wait a minute, I will show you. Just okay. So here you can see the website that the numpy.org.install. So numpy.org, similarly for Python, panda.org or python.org, you will get where all the things you will get easily, that how to install the code, what is the installation code, right? So you will get all the things in details here. Now moving back to the coding part. Okay, I think Anaconda installation is running. Let it be done. Closing this Anaconda environment. Now getting back to the coding part. Okay. Now in this particular session, we are going to first run. Before running the particular session, let me restart the kernel because there are too much data in the output section, right? So let me restart the kernel once, and then I am going to show you the output for this particular. Okay, it has been installed or it has been restarted. Now we are going to check the output section, right? So let me run, and now we are getting some values. We are getting some values as an output, right? So look, I didn't mention any value in the header file, right? It was blank. Still, we are getting some values, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we can assume that by default, if we are not mentioning any type of data values, so it will taking the values as 5, right? So the 5 values, it was by default, the values have been displayed. And indexing, now it is the indexing part. So the indexing part is there in 64 indexing, that is the 6, 1, 8, 1, 0. So first 5 values as per that 6, 1, 8, 1, 0, as per this particular column, the value was 6, 1, 8, 1, 0, that is also there. And then similarly more values, that 5, 3, 10, 2, 8. So this is the indexing value, and this is the value. The index value is actually mentioned there as per the particular form. So if we are looking for the Excel file, 6, 1, 8, 1, 0, after that maybe 5, 3, 10, 2, 8, 4. So these are the values present in my Excel, and that is actually displaying in the part of this Excel totally part. So this total part up to this particular part means it is mentioning starting from 6. So first initial value here it is 6, and the last value that is here present, it was 1. So the last value present, it is 1. So this is the indexing part, the value, how we can make it in an index format, right? Now, so these are my part. Now let me read some new codes. Okay, so up to this particular part we have mentioned. Now suppose we are having the values, and we want to print some particular section of the particular values. So what will be the output if we run the code? First of all, let me check. Okay. Okay. Now the lines, let us execute by line by line. So this is my panda numpy, this is my packages, this is my variable df where the database was readed. Now print df.types. Print df.types, the output part is this particular section, print df.types, right? Now print df.head, by default no value it was mentioned, so by default it is taking some 5 values. Print df.head. Print df.index, so these are the indexing part where the values actually I'm getting. Print df.index. Now the next part is print A0. Print A0 means the part of A0. A is my list, or we can say as an array. So A is my array, and this particular array, what is the present is A0. The value is actually getting displayed. So what is the value that is actually present in A0? So if you are looking better, that 148, 72, 35, these are the values, and lastly it will be the 1, right? So these values, the present in my A0, that is displayed here. Similarly for A5, it is displaying that whatever the values are present. A5 means it is the value of 6 column. A5 means it is the value of 6 columns. So 116, 74, 00, 25.6. So if we are looking for the Excel, if I am checking for the Excel, then we can see that yes, this is the value that is present in my A5 list or A5 indexing list. So this is my value present in my A5 indexing list, right? Suppose I want to print the print, okay, a oh, 8. So now I am trying to actually okay. Now I am trying to run this particular cell. Okay. So we can see some output here as an 8. Okay, let me run the code totally. Okay, so we can see that the things are similar. We are having some output in the particular age. So this is my the indexing. As per the indexing, we are getting some output. As per the indexing, we are getting some output. Okay. Now for the next part, that is next particular code. If I am talking, describe. So we have the values up to this particular part. We have understand all the things. Now in the next part, that is we are going to describe. We have a simple new line, that is describe. A simple new line present here, that is describe. So what is actually this describe? Df.describe means the description of the particular data file. So suppose what is the output we are getting here? So the total description. So the description of total particular part we are actually getting as a count, mean, standard, minimum, 25% of the actual value, 75% of the actual value, maximum of the actual value. So the description, this describe package have some values initialized in it, installed or some predefined things in it. It's a describe value. So whenever I am using this describe package, by default, what are the process, what is the background processes running in the describe, that is going to run and check, and then we are getting some output as the means the description or the describe is giving some values of the count, minimum, standard, minimum, mean, 25%, 55, 50%, 75%, and the maximum. So these are the describe of the total particular data file. So this is my the describe of the total data file. So this is my describe part of the data file. So what I am trying to visualize here, that for each particular code, what is my output of the database? What is the output of my database? Because whatever the codes are actually happening, whatever the executions actually happening here, whatever the executions actually happening, all the things are happening as per the on the particular database. So this particular printf statement, each printf statement is actually executing some on the database, is actually executing on the database. So we are having some particular database result as per the particular scenario, right? Now next part, here a simple thing, that is mean. By default in the describe part we already have the value of mean. By default in the describe part we already have the value of mean, right? So just I am going to run this particular mean section, right? So you can see, if we visualize the two data result in this particular part where the describe have been initialized, and result in this particular part where the means have been initialized, right? So we can see that the data visualization, the describe, mean, these particular parts are actually giving the same result. So we can say that we can either check out individual data, or also we can get all the data at the same time in the describe part. So if I'm trying to see the mean, so where we are getting the mean, suppose I am trying to visualize here mean. So what it can be the output, particularly run the particular step. So we can see that we are getting the values of mean. We are getting some values of the mean, right? So whatever we can actually get the value individually, or we can get the total value as the describe part. We can actually get the total value as in the describe part. So df dot describe, df dot mean, in both the cases we can actually have the similar kind of value. We can actually have the similar kind of value, right? There is a new line that is saying mean dot one. So what is that mean dot one actually here? So whatever the values, how much values are there in the mean one, means the section one. We are whenever we are actually mentioning some values in the function part, that is the indexing part. So on the pregnancy, so the first one, what are the values or what is the database present? If I am actually seeing that particular part, what is the first thing actually present there? Okay, wait a minute, I will share you the Excel first. So we can see the total column. So if I'm the first one in this particular section, the total things have been actually, the total values have been actually displayed in this particular part, right? The total values, if we are looking the 61810, starting from the 61810, 5, 3, 10, 2, 4, 10. So all the things actually totally getting initialized, and as per the value, the mean was initialized on this particular part. The mean was initialized on this particular part. So this mean have some particular calculation background running in the function. So of the package, the mean package, what is the calculation, what is the process that can be, that is already initialized. That is already initialized. So the mean is working on that, right? Okay. Okay. Now, so there are many more similar this type of programs are there, okay, by which we can actually see some visualization of the database, or work on the database actually, right? There are many type of coding. So you can see that lots of let me show you one thing first. This one, no, not this one. Yes, this one. What actually it is saying, there are some df.ilog, df.drop. Two new things are there. First of all, let me correct the name of the database, that is 092.database diabetes.csv. So the name was corrected here. Now, actually what is happening, that there are two particular sections, that is df.ilog and df.drop. So what is this particular section is actually doing, right? What is actually happening? So totally, first of all, restarting the kernel, because too much data in the output section, we don't want that. Now let us run the code. That code was run, right? df.drop the BMI part, right? So if I simply do one thing, let me do one thing. Hold a minute. The code. So here, okay. So we can see our output here, that is on the particular df.particular file, that is pd.read.csv. We are having the particular file. So now what is happening actually by using the .ilog? Here what is actually happening, that we are going to particularly identify or select a set of record of that particular index location, of a particular index location, and specifying the column values by using the ilog. So what is happening using the ilog? So by using the ilog, we are getting a specific location and the column value. We are getting a specific location and the column value, right? And by using the df drop, what is actually happening, we are trying to dropping a column. Now coming to the concept of database, what is the meaning of drop in database? In DBMS, what is the meaning of drop? Can anyone say what is the meaning of drop?
To remove something.
To remove something means, explain some more. To remove something is remove what? Remove a total database
Table
or
or a row or any element.
element or table?
Any row or column.
Means the element, the value, not the total table, right? Because there are two options in our DBMS. If I'm right, one is drop, another one is delete, right? One is drop, another one is delete. So drop means dropping a particular column or dropping a particular row. So this is the same function is actually happening here. By using this df drop, we are actually removing some particular BMI, and from the BMI particular column from the axis one. So particular element we are actually trying to delete here. So this is,
So,
yes,
sir, but we use drop to delete whole database or table now, and we use delete command to use any single element, and we use drop to delete whole the database or any table.
okay. Now I need
Sir, I think it drop or delete हम लोग एक particular whole, drop means total.
okay, just a minute. I need to think because I am getting puzzled now. In drop in DBMS, actually we are using drop for deleting the total database, right?
Yes.
Drop is actually trying to deleting a total database. Destroyed, yes, actually it is actually destroying the total object like an table, right? Also, drop statement in SQL remove the component from a relational database management system. Okay. And if I am talking about delete, delete actually remove one or more records in a table, right? So if I am trying to use this particular delete here, the data frame object is going to delete. What is the command for delete? Dot. Okay. Yes. Dot. Not one. Okay. Drop. So drop is for removing a column or dropping a column in Python, because delete, the particular data frame delete is actually not present here. So drop is actually happening as a removing the particular thing. Okay, so let me clear one more thing. Just give a minute. So what is the purpose of drop command in Python? Okay, I need to check that drop command in Python. Okay, so what is actually happening in Python? or actually we can talk about Python, that the drop command is used in Python to remove a particular row or column, or basically say we can say by removing a column basically by using the drop. So in Python, so here is the basic difference in Python and database. Actually, that in Python we are actually using the drop command to remove a particular column. So you are using a drop command to remove a particular column. In Python we are using the drop command. So drop here an exception we can say, because in drop we are actually using the drop command in Python to remove a column, to remove a particular column, right?